This hearing opens with a surface-level progress review, but the judge immediately reveals a deeper concern. He is not focused on paperwork. He is focused on whether the case is moving toward an actual decision. Oliver's positive update creates a brief moment of normalcy before the court shifts back into a dispute that has clearly been stalled for far too long.
I think that's probably everybody. So I think this is a date and time set for simply a review. I have received the copy of the annual report. How is Oliver doing?
Very well. How are you doing, Oliver? Sam, doing good.
Excellent. What are your plans going forward, Oliver?
Going to college.
Going to college.
That sounds pretty exciting. Through the next year.
Your Honor, Mr. Strauss is he from East Jordan, that psychologist?
He required payment up front, so.
I'm not sure where he keeps his office at, but there was some issue with him wanting payment up front. So I see this is from Dr. Hayes. What was the issue there?
I don't understand your question. There was no issue. She got it from Dr. Hayes because Dr. Strauss she couldn't afford Dr. Strauss. And
here's my issue. Here's my real issue.
Okay.
I asked to have, and I'm okay with a different psychologist, but the issue was I wanted somebody in particular, one person, to have the ability to talk to everybody, and then not just give me, here's what the tests say, but here's what my recommendation is as to who should have and why the person should have and what we should do going forward. It wasn't just tell me what the tests say. That doesn't help me a whole lot when we're dealing with the issues that we're dealing. The order said make a recommendation concerning parenting time, guardianship, and the appropriate placement for Jensen. Mr. Hayes did none of that.
Okay, the other psychologist refused to do it. He wouldn't do the father because he said, first of all, the payment. Second of all, that the father really only wants every other weekend and he didn't want to do that. So, and I couldn't tell the other parties who to go to.
Which is why the court order was psychologist Tim Strauss, so that everybody had to go to the same place.
I know, Your Honor, I'm not in control of Mr. Strauss. He wouldn't do it.
Your Honor, Your
Go
Honor,
ahead.
I also talked to Mr. Strauss. Mr. Strauss outright refused payment of any kind. He refused to do the evaluation in any way, shape, or form because the court would not pay for it.
So he wanted the court's money and not your money?
Correct.
That makes absolutely no sense to me.
I believe he was also too busy, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Rocheleau Ormsby, have you gotten a psychological evaluation from anybody yet?
No. As for the Strauss thing, what it was he didn't want to do anything without a full court order, court payment, and then us pay the courts back is what it was. Their office wouldn't touch it at all. And then Old Town Psychological with Jensen would not do one at first because of his age. They usually don't do evaluations unless they're 6 years of age or older.
So my question was, did you get a psychological evaluation?
No, I was under the understanding the last time we talked with Mr. Delaney and everything that I wouldn't have to because I do foster care and everything. I'm we didn't understand why I would have to have one.
Because I told you to. That's the bottom line. You guys are making this case 18 times harder than it needs to be. My request was to have one person with the ability to make recommendations talk to everybody. I don't understand how that's so difficult to accomplish. It's done across the state of Michigan thousands of times a year in these circumstances. So, Ms. Walker, what do you recommend?
I don't know if we can find a psychologist that will do that, because with everybody paying on their own, I don't know who would do it. So I'm sorry, Your Honor, I don't have a recommendation. I do know
Mr.
that,
Rhodes?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
There's a trauma center that does whole families, but they charge a lot of money.
A different problem emerges when the court asks for solutions and receives uncertainty instead. Nobody appears ready to offer a realistic path forward. The attorneys acknowledge obstacles, identify possible resources, and discuss costs, yet no clear recommendation reaches the judge.
But they do, all the parties, and make a recommendation out of Western Michigan University. But I don't know that they're appropriate, because I don't know that there's trauma. There's placement, but I don't know that there's trauma.
Mr. Rocheleau Armsby, what's your solution?
I really don't know. I didn't know that we had to have, I knew that we had to have the psychological evaluations, but I didn't know it had to be his recommendations or anything like that. I didn't remember that part.
That's why I put it into an order, so you wouldn't have to remember. You could just read it. So what do you think that we should do now?
I can't say, because, you know, the things that were supposed to have been done in the past and the future and everything else, nothing's ever been done the way it was supposed to have been done in the first place. You know, this is 4.5 years that we've had this kid, and everybody seems to think that you can just pull him out of a house and he's going to be fine. You know, you can't take a kid that's lived with somebody since they were 2 days old and just rip them out and take them somewhere. That's just going to cause.
I can.
I'm just saying, it's going to cause issues.
Stop. The court has the discretion to do whatever the court wants to do. I'm trying to do it in an orderly fashion, but I get the parties going off in their own directions, and then you want to complain about the fact that everybody's going off on their own direction. This is getting me nowhere. Ms. Walker, you are going to schedule a conference call with Mr. Strauss and all of the other parties and the court. That means you are going to be responsible for talking with everybody and setting that up. I want to hear from Mr. Strauss himself as to why we can't put this together the way that I asked it to be put together to begin with. I have a feeling that he didn't want to deal with all of you and trying to get payment out of all of you. The court is not paying for your examinations. You are. But if we can get that done up front, which is the way typically that is done, I'm sure that Mr. Strauss will be happy to do it, but I want to hear it from him, because quite frankly, I don't know that any of you know what you're talking about. So, Ms. Walker, I need that set up within the next 14 days. Do you have any questions about what you need to do?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you
So
very
when you
much. That's
say-
all for today.
Your Honor, when you say with the court, like, do you want me to make a conference call with you also, or just?
I want you to set it up. Yes, I want you to set it up with my
Okay.
staff so that I
Okay.
am a part of that conversation.
Thank you, Your Honor.
If everybody is present, it's not ex parte communication, but I simply want to have a conversation with Mr.
Okay.
Strauss, and I want everybody else to be there. So set up a conference call. That means you're going to have to talk to my staff and find a time when I'm available and when everybody else is available too, so that we can do that. So I hear it straight from the horse's mouth as to what the issue is with Mr. Strauss. If he can't do it, we'll figure out something else that we can do. But I need to hear it from him first, so we can go forward.
At this stage, the judge stops reacting and starts taking control. His solution is notable because it removes speculation from the equation. Rather than accepting second-hand explanations about the psychologist, he demands direct communication. The ending of the hearing reveals the judge's broader strategy for moving this case forward. He is creating accountability through deadlines and direct involvement. By requiring coordination with court staff and insisting on participation from all parties, he closes off opportunities for future confusion. The emphasis on hearing directly from the psychologist shows a judge trying to rebuild a decision-making process that has become fragmented. What makes this conclusion important is that the court does not rush into a placement ruling despite obvious frustration. Instead, it focuses on obtaining reliable information first. That approach signals discipline. The judge understands that a weak foundation can create bigger problems later. His message is unmistakable. Before anyone argues about outcomes, the court will first establish exactly why its previous orders failed to produce results.